A very good evening to everybody and welcome to this seminar organized by Birdwatchers Society, an organization that is based in Kolkata, but has bird watchers and bird enthusiasts from all over West Bengal. Basically, this is a group of people from all walks of life, but who are very, very passionate about birds. Not only are they interested in going out and looking for birds, but they are also activists for advocating the conservation of bird habitats. So on behalf of Birdwatcher Society, I would like to welcome everyone to this very, very interesting talk, Conserving the Greater Adjutant Stock through People's Movement in Assam. Some of the rules I think Sujan has already announced, so I don't have to repeat all that. But before I hand over the session to Purnima, I would want to introduce all of you to the work that she has done and the work that she still continues to do. Dr. Purnima Devi Barman, she's popularly known as the Hargila Baido, basically means sister for the greater adjutant stork, among communities that she works with. And she works as a conservation biologist with Aaranyak, which is one of the oldest and is also one of the leading NGOs working in conservation in Assam and probably in Northeast also. Many states of Northeast, they have their activities and initiatives. For her PhD, Purnima worked on the foraging ecology, breeding success and status of greater adjutant stork. She worked around in Kamrup district, that is the district that surrounds Guwahati. And she's been working on the conservation of this species for more than 12 years. So for her work on the conservation of the greater adjutant and leading a people's movement actually in doing so, especially by involving a lot of women, she was the recipient of the Whitley's Award in 2017, which is also known as the Green Oscar. With this, she's leading a crusade to conserve this endangered species. And like Sujan was saying, in 2007, he saw about 300, 350 plus birds. I think the situation is grave now. So Purnima has also been conferred with the Nari Shakti Puraskar by the President of India. And this is the highest civilian award for Indian women. And this was also for her tireless work with communities and also for conducting research on the greater adjutant stork. And she's got many other awards besides these two. But what I find most intriguing and one of the most important aspects of her work is that Purnima is the founder of a group called the Hargila Army, which literally means an army to protect the greater adjutant stork. And in this army, she has been able to organize over 400 local women to implement Hargila or stork conservation activities. So as a ripple effect of this 400 women who've become an army to conserve this bird, because of the work that she has done and mobilized, 10,900 more women have also pledged to be a part of this Hargila army. So it's a great, ripple effect of stewardship. This group will be the voice for nature conservation. And this work has been lauded, Purnima's work has been lauded as a model for community conservation through building strong stewardships with local communities. And today, as a woman, I'm really proud to present and host Dr. Purnima Devi Barman. And I'm sure she's going to give a very, very interesting talk. And her talk will inspire many bird watchers, bird enthusiasts, and especially young people who are very interested in bird conservation. With that, over to you, Purnima.
Thank you so much, Sarla. Thank you so much for this honor for having me here. And yeah, I'm really very honored and namaskar to everyone and happy Independence Day to all of you. And Birdwatcher Society, I'm very grateful to you because you have honored this bird through this webinar. Not only this bird, but the communities, as Sarla was mentioning our communities from Dodora Bosura Singimari village and our all women army team, Hargila Army. That means a lot. And Susanji, thank you so much. And I'm very happy to be here. And I think, I'm here to team up with all of you so that I can learn more and we all can contribute more to this greater cause. And one more thing which I must mention, I just discussed with all of you just before a while that today on Independence Day, I am very happy, glad to share with you that our district commissioner from Kamrup, Mr. Kartik, he is an IS officer. He took an initiative, and DC Kamrup office, they have set up a and today inaugurated at the office today, and I meet a lot and me. So I would like to, if you allow me, I would like to share my journey with you. So I think I would move, I think, to the first slide. And yeah, so actually everything started from this. 12 years ago, actually, I was very desperate. Actually, I was very desperate to be an academician or a scientist, and that's why I wanted to do my PhD on this bird. My teachers, Porimal Chandra Bhattacharya sir, Prahanto Hoikia sir, and Hirolda, they always inspired me, and with their different stories which made this bird endangered. And I was very desperate to do my PhD to collect data on this bird. And trust me, I didn't know anything apart from the PhD. I thought that PhD would be the ultimate. I didn't know much about conservation at that time. And my parents had another dream with me, but it was a conflict. My dream was to do my PhD and to be an academician. So with this aim, and at that time in 2007, I was just a student. I didn't have any, I was a member of Aaranyak. I was just a student. I didn't have any resource. And yes, but 2002, when I was a student, after just passing the masters, also I joined a project in Aaranyak, which was really very stepping stone for me. And then I joined 1.5 year, and then I met many people. I met Hilolda. I met many people. Yeah, so actually this way, actually my entry to this field started, and then after 1.5 hour, my this project was finished, and then I was desperate to do my PhD. Then one day I got a call from a person, and I landed in a village. And when I went there, I was really shocked. One, actually, that incident actually changed my life, and I want to share that incident with you. Sorry, I just want to push my just so yeah. So actually, I wanted to be an academician, but I became a manager, human manager. So everything changed my life. So I want to describe how it happened. So when I went there, I hired an auto and I went there. And one tree owner had cut down a huge nesting tree of kadam tree, and 9 nests fell down, and I think 9 baby birds fell down, and these a few birds were alive. And I was really shocked to see that, just, and I I was there. I was there. At that time I was very naive. I was an introvert also. I was very naive, and but I dared to speak to the person. Why you had done so? Why did you cut down the trees? It is so important. That is why I am doing I am coming to do my PhD on this bird. And after that, the situation changed. I think I was a very bad communicator at that time. This person was yelling at me, and he was really reacting on me, and he started mocking at me. And then many people surrounded me, his friends, family members, and they started clapping at me. And I can't tell you the situation. It was a very embarrassing moment. And one of them tried to say me that, why don't you be our housemaid from tomorrow and clean the excreta and debris and all the messy foods of this bird. One person also told that this bird is a bad omen, and please give me money, please give us money, and government and all. And I have mentioned you that I had a zero, I started from zero actually. I didn't have anything, and I was a student only. Just I was there like a student, and then somebody started telling that you might be a government agent, or just so these birds. Why don't you take and many things. Then I requested them, please help me to rescue a few birds. We can do together. Then a few of them were laughing and mocking at me, mentioning that, oh, this lady is going to eat this, consume this birds on the way. These might be very tasty. That day, it was so embarrassing when I was coming back on the way. I couldn't actually I can't tell you the situation. And that day I realized that what is the value of my education. I could not motivate, I could not speak to those person, I couldn't motivate them. And what I'm going to do with my PhD if I could not motivate them. If so I think I would have to bring the bird into the hearts and minds of the species before so we do my PhD. So actually from that day my mission started, and very next day early morning I reached that village again, and I started this movement and started meeting people, and I realized that people are so nice. That was not at all their fault. They I think they didn't realize the importance of wildlife, importance of the bird or trees. So I got energy from that, and I started making friendship with them, building friendship with them, building their trust. And this way, actually, my journey started. And just I want to share, I don't know how, just, yeah. The very first day when I was holding a bird, when I was, my team, after that I built up a team. But the very first day when I was holding a bird, I had goosebumps, and I didn't realize that this 4 months baby bird is so huge, and really I got so attached. And the more the people told that Hargila is a bad omen, messy and all, and actually I got addicted more and more to this species. So this I want to share with you. And
No, I think she's having, I think, network problems. I think, have we lost her? Sujan, have we lost her?
She's back, but hang on, she has to unmute.
Okay. Purnima, why don't you unmute?
How I lost my connection? It was there. I had my connection only. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for this. Are you okay now? Can you share my screen again?
Share your screen again.
Oh, it's difficult then. Okay.
Share your screen.
Mm-hmm. Can you see my screen?
No.
Just wait. Please give me some time then.
It's coming. Yeah. Yeah. Just go to slideshow.
You have to unmute yourself, Purnima.
Unmute, yeah.
Unmute and slideshow.
Yeah. sorry for all this, and I just have to mention that greater adjutant is also placed in 100 age birds, as you all know, but still I added this slide. And this, I think, the picture that Susan ji was mentioning me before we, all of the audience, all of the participants join. And but I just wanted to share that this picture, I know, I just collected from the web only. And yeah, I think this shows the existence of the bird in Kolkata. So I think Susan ji would share more about this way after my presentation, and we'll discuss that. So I would love to come again to that, again to the slide, that Hargila is a carrion feeding birds, where it lies the importance. And all of you are aware. And Hargila in Assam was also treated as messy, disease-carrying birds, and also as bad omen, which I have already mentioned. And trees are also being cut down as easy source of money, and also for expansion of land and house construction and in marriage. And I think this bird is a scheduled species, but they don't breed in the protected area. So that is the biggest problem. And this picture itself tells the story that Hargila breeds in private lands, and that is the biggest challenge. And these are some. So I would love to hit these things again and again, that we know that nest fall, increases of, nest fall is a big problem for this species. This is also one of the reasons that annoy the people, because when the bird chicks fall down, many birds die on the nest also, and it makes the campus and all, just smelly and all. This also makes annoyed the people. So we did a pre-campaign survey why they cut down the trees, and we got that many tree owners demanded case. And the most important things is that we experienced that the villagers were not at all educated about wildlife and about the importance of greater adjutant. So this way actually we developed a PR plan to merge the Hargila into the tradition and society, and with a different education modules, and to work with different target groups. And this way we started building friendship with the tree owners, and felicitating them in the public campaign and all, and to boosted up them their effort. And this way actually we launched our campaign specially for Hargila. And then slowly we started a all women army team called Hargila Army among the rural women. And yeah, our work is a integration of science, pride, tradition, outreach, and spirituality with these women. And one of the agenda to bring the Hargila into the tradition. And I think women can do this better than anyone. So this is the reason. And so this way, and we started, and one Hargila Army woman means her family. So this way we are working with all of them, with the entire range of communities, with all the male, women, everyone, in our campaign. So we created a dedicated group of community educators. And I add this picture, I just want to add that when we started this campaign, women always neglected, or women didn't come to the meeting, or otherwise what happened, I organized a meeting and they didn't come on time. It took long time. So then we started visiting them, why they did so. Then, and all the time they kept telling that they have to cook for their husband, for their children. They have so much work, and this is not their priority at all. So this actually that's why what I started doing, organizing competition, and merging environment education and cooking dish to get to work a lot than army. So we have a program called Communities Teaching Communities, and a drama group among the women who have bird nests in their backyard. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
just feeling that I am again out of contact or
No, no,
something.
no. You are
Okay.
perfectly online.
Yeah, okay. So we started a communities teaching communities campaign. We believe that rather than I tell them or we tell them about the Hargila, so we started this communities teaching communities. So we formed this group, a drama group or an educator group, who then started this campaign. And and we had lots of pride campaign that Hargila we are very proud of Hargila. So we organize many pride campaign, and whoever who joined here, if you are working on such species, please organize pride campaign. It really works a lot. And then I want to invite you through this opportunity. Please come to our Hargila baby shower in October. We organize Hargila baby shower every year in October. I don't know what will be the COVID rule in October now, but every year, and our women are very excited for the next year. This baby shower. We exactly organize this Hargila baby shower exactly like the way we organize the rituals for the Assamese expecting mothers. Actually, it is also one kind of way to merge the Hargila into tradition. And when we started this campaign, I believe that when I keep going and telling them, them do not cut down the trees, or do not just save the Hargila. This didn't work much, so we have to do a different kind of module. So that's why we started this campaign. And trust me, this was sensitized, and they started, now they went to home and they started protecting the trees, asking their husbands or any other family members to protect the Hargila. And we do it when the Hargila come and breeds, or lay eggs. I noticed that at that time our trees were either cut down, or some heated with a stone or something like that. So I think, or I saw some people also smoked under the nesting tree. So and it was due to lack of awareness, and so that's why we organize. And this baby shower really worked a lot, and we organize every year this baby shower. And one of our other agenda is to we always whenever we got an opportunity, we didn't miss any opportunity to do the campaign. And always our agenda was to merge the Hargila into the tradition. Prayer halls or everywhere, in a field, in a paddy field, everywhere. And this is another very important event which we always, every year we organize. This is a community Gita Bhagavat procession in Dodora village, and many people, like all the people comes to the street, and they have a procession with our holy book, Gita Bhagavat. So then we spoke to the committee, and they agreed, and this way actually we started. And now this is a very important event of that ceremony or committee. And our work is not only saving this bird, but also empowering women and social changes in these villages. Even if you go now, I think it is now, 8 p.m. Even now, I think a group is either doing a singing, event, or in every locality group, the women are clubbed up, and they do lots of activities, a textile, or somebody might be making a bag. This I think this made a social changes in the villages. And and their husbands are also very happy with this. And after, actually, I have to mention, I really want to acknowledge here, and my special thanks to Whitley Award. We could establish a weaving center for the women in 2017. And also add that in 2000, these are the, you can see, as I have mentioned, that why we roped in so many women. So this is one, you can see, this is one example. We merge Hargila into the tradition and society. This is our very respectful Assamese gamusa, and our women are very proud to merge it. And we gave them, we provided them a training, a fashion diploma training, training in this to do this and to merge Hargila into their attires, textiles. And this is a glimpse from our weaving center, and they produce a lot. And this way they not only share, they not only sell, they share their pride. So, and this is one of the event from the fashion designing this diploma which we did it in Swalgusi. And so then we organize market link up for them in any like mela or any kind of event or any kind of just lots of I think expo and all, lots of things keep happening in the city. And then we give them the link up, and then they sell them. And so yeah, many young women also join, and they are very proud to weave. And earlier they didn't have income, but now they have a very good income for this. And I'm very thankful to our New Zealand High Commissioner, so former New Zealand High Commissioner, who provided us in 2018. She provided, it was an offer from herself. I was really very surprised, and it really boosted me up when because we were working. We provided looms, yarns to the women, but we didn't have sewing machines. But in 2018, we got these 80 sewing machines from New Zealand High Commissioner, and this really helped a lot to our women to produce more attire. And they are some people who are my mentors, Simon, Stuart, and Kira. They really means a lot for me. I have many mentors around the world who are supporting us, and I want to show their attires actually, and like how our textiles went to the spread to different places in the world. And in this pandemic time, our women produced more than 10,000 face masks and got a high income out of this. And we distributed also to communities or in various places. And so always we like, I want to add here, Hilolda is also there. So I always want that we always avoided giving direct cash to the tree owners. And this is really very unsustainable most of the time. Now it is now our conservation movement is different, but earlier it was so challenging, and this work is every day, it's a challenging work. And so we always avoided giving direct cash, because it can be possible from government only, from organization it cannot be possible. If we give direct cash one time, we may not be able to sustain it next year. Then what would happen? It will hamper the whole and whole conservation efforts. So that's why we always encourage to give them rewards or scholarships. So this really works. Yeah. So we have also partnered. So we want to mention that apart from this education module, we have a big education module for our children, for our future generation. So catching them in young is one of our biggest program. And for this, we tied up with a local school from the last 12 years, Sankadev Sishu Niketan Dadara, and we mentioned them as the guardian of the stork, and they are also one of the biggest tools conservation agenda. And for all these children, they inspire their parents also. And these are some conservation module. We merge craft classes to their just normal courses work. So we just merge Hargila education classes. And as Sujanji was mentioning about the garbage dump, so I just want to mention that sometimes we do education program in the garbage dump also, and with the rag picker children also. And it is a different experience to work with them, definitely. definitely I'd love to share later on if I get any other opportunity. And so we also tied up with a puppet group. My team member Dishana, she is leading this puppet group. She has been working with us, so she is my team member, and she developed this puppet group, which is I think I think different names. So we have dramas. So I think this puppet's name is How Green Our World Is, something like that. So we also acknowledge a group called Evan, artists and biologists unite from the world. They themselves offered me to give 85 paintings through a campaign in social media, and all these campaigns are very being prepared for our upcoming Hargila Museum. We are going to develop the Hargila Nature Learning Center soon in Kamrup district, and with support from district administration, police, and Elise C. Tyler, and so all are supporting, and Whitley Award. So we'll do, and so we also partnered with local police, Kamrup District Administration and Kamrup Police, who is also one of the biggest tool in our conservation. And this really helped a lot when police, when police keeps visiting the colony with a pride, then it really makes the communities also feel very proud. And I always want to tell that, we cannot every day, we cannot educate people with laws and regulations. We have to motivate them and educate them with by building ownership. And when we so these are some ways. So we, if we involve the local police, that is also one kind of involvement in a different way. So rather than telling them the rules and regulation or the laws, just laws for protecting wildlife. But yes, in a very after our campaigns and all, when we built up the support, we definitely displayed hoardings with laws and regulation of the Wildlife Protection Act. But we always give more importance in developing ownership, and building ownership. And this is one of the tableau in Republic Day, I think. Yeah, so it was in 2016, and today I am very glad to share with you, which I mentioned earlier, that today our Deputy Commissioner from Kamrup, it is his initiative. They have established a Hargila corner in the Deputy Commissioner's office, and so I am very grateful to them. And I think it is an extra jail for this conservation effort. And this I have mentioned about the Hargila nest for fallen birds. So we put nets under the nesting trees, and then we rescue, and the local communities, youth. We have many volunteers. We have youth. We have two youth, Manav and Dipankar. They are working with us, and they help us. And then we rescue them, and we transport them into zoo, and then we release them in the wild, and we put those rings with support from BNSS. And here this picture is very important for me to share with you, because all the time it is so many birds fall down, and during this crisis of coronavirus, it was, and when we had lockdown, when the birds fell down also, it was so difficult. Not only that day, but sometimes, we earlier we tried to do lots of postmortem, but it was not possible for us to do, because for that we need lots of support. And then if we don't, if these birds fall, and and they get rotten, or they get smelly, then a big conflict started. And yeah, I can't tell you the entire story. So but that's why what we did, that this is one, that we engage our community member, Manav and Dipankar. So we have started burying them also. And in coronavirus time also, it was very difficult. And so yeah, I would definitely love to share this later on after my presentation. So these are some post-mortem which we did, and we found lots of unusual materials. I just want to share with you. So steel blades, iron nails, animal hoof, and so I just leave this to you. And so we in nest survey also we found lots of unusual plastics, and also we have to really we all have to really work hard and just insect always miss to do in action. So these are some experts, and I'm thankful to my guide, Professor D.K. Sharma, for this, who is helping me. And these are some result of microscopy of many excels, but my guide expert, so he is helping me and educating me on this. And to study the breeding biology, I have 3 bamboo platforms. One is 85 feet, one is more than this, and one is a bit less. But that 85 from this 85 feet bamboo platform, I used to study the breeding behavior of this bird. And this is a study in Cambodia, which really empowered me to climb and all to do the start to study the breeding behavior. And this I must, I'm excited to share with you. In 2017, we started this artificial breeding platform for the bird, and we did with the bamboos, and we applied a bit science into this. But 2017, a bird incubated, but it failed. And then but I didn't we didn't lose hope. And in 2018 we again did this, and we the one baby bird hatched, and it flew away. Then last year we had again another 2 baby birds which hatched and flew away. This we did in the zoo also, and likewise after 2 years 2 baby birds hatched, but after 2 months they died also. But here in the wild, so far we have raised 3 birds, and successfully they flew away in the wild. And so I'm so excited to share this with you. I hope you would love this. And I think results are rewarding amidst lots of challenges. So tree owners developed ownership feeling, and the area where I'm working, it is the largest colony in the world. Nest numbers also increased, and every year from this colony more than 75 6 fly away successfully every year. We keep monitoring them, but when we don't find all of them. So we need to study a lot in just so we have to do radio caller or telemetry, and also we always we have other experts like Hilola, and or other experts. So communities and all the district administration, government, Kamrup district police, and Assam Forest Department, New Zealand High Commission, and mostly the local communities who made this possible, and all the team Aaranyak and everyone, and Whitley Awards, Conservation Leadership Program, and LEC Tyler, who have supported me for a Hargila. I want to conclude the session, but if you have more questions, you can ask me. And I'm very sorry for all the inconvenience happened in the middle. And thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Purnima. And I think it was a very interesting presentation about, what you've done and what you've been able to achieve, and, the status that the bird was in and the ownership. I think it's a challenge for all of us who work in bird conservation, because when there are larger charismatic mammals, everyone takes interests. But when birds, very few people are interested. And yet people who love birds, who are working on birds, not necessarily doing the PhD, but even then I see even among this group, among the bird watchers society, or many of the bird watching people that I know from Siliguri, Jalpaiguri, everywhere, they're always advocating. They're always, even like, they always asking me like, can you write a letter to that one? Can you write a letter to this one?
Yeah.
So I think your talk was very inspiring. And if local people get involved, I think, half the battle is won. Thank you so much. And
Thank you, Sarla.
with that, I think I will ask Sujan if there are any queries or questions. I think we can all ask.
Before we go to the questions, there is a person in the participant list. I would ask Mr. Arvind Mishra to unmute himself and tell us a little bit about the greater adjutant stork population in Bihar, which is a complete separate population from the northeastern birds. And
And Purnima, maybe you can stop sharing your screen. Yeah.
so
I'm
I don't know.
very, yeah.
Yes.
Should I stop sharing? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm very glad that have any idea. We are very good friend and we work together. Yeah.
Okay, so
We're very good friend.
Mr. Mishra is here, and maybe give us a few lines about his Bhagalpur birds.
Yeah, Sujan and Purnima, thanks a lot for inviting me in this session. And mm, just within 16 years of time, the population from 78, it has come to at least 550 to 600 uh, uh, at this time in Bhagalpur area. And that's about the population. What else? We have just left them their own course to take on. We are not promoting much of tourism and not allowing many persons to crowd in the area, and we are just facilitating their natural course of uh, propagation. Yes, Sujan.
Thank you so much, Mishra ji. In fact, at one point of time, the municipality emblem of Kolkata used to be a greater
Yeah.
adjutant stork. And if those who are in Calcutta can actually go to Newmarket and see the emblem still there on the Newmarket building. Now,
Yeah.
yes, so that's the most interesting part. And after that, obviously, the bird completely disappeared from the scene from West Bengal. But I think last year, one bird arrived in Alipurduar or probably in Kuch Bihar. So maybe all your efforts from both sides, from Bhagalpur and from Assam, might pay off for us in West Bengal because the birds might be coming back to us. So,
One good thing is there in this
One
Bhagalpur
bird?
area, that there is no garbage dump in that in their breeding zone or foraging zone. So not a big garbage dump, and by and large people are vegetarian. So not rotting things are spread here and there. But uh, our river Ganges is providing them food. They feed on. They started feeding on carcasses more than the previous years during last 5 to 6 years. Earlier, they were seen less on the carcasses in the Ganges, but since last 4 5 years, they have started feeding much on the carcasses. I think the growing population and increasing demand for food, I think that is a pressing factor that they are taking, getting their food from the Ganges. That's good one way, but it is good that they don't congregate on the garbage dump, in which many household people may put some insecticides and harmful materials in the garbage that can harm to the adjutants. I feel we feel lucky to have such an area and people in our area.
yes.
I have a question to Mishra ji. Uh, Hello, Mishra ji. I have a question
Yes,
to you.
Purnima.
Yeah, I saw
audio, audio, audio
you started
interrupting.
fishes
I
in the
think
wetlands.
Purnima's
Is
audio
it
is
true?
very poor.
Or
Please
is it,
repeat
yeah,
the
it's
question.
from Bihar, right? Okay, can you, yeah, it's very disturbing. I couldn't hear properly to Mishraji also. Can you hear me,
Yeah,
Mishraji? Or
now,
I should
now I
write
can.
down?
Maybe put off your
Okay.
video, Purnima, and then you can this thing. Video sometimes is a problem. Put off your video, and then you can probably ask the question. I think she's disconnected.
So I think, Mishra, we are in touch, so I can ask him question later, but I think others can also, share their views and suggestions. I would love to hear from Sujan or, in elaboration.
Sujan, I think you should go with the questions. Yeah.
There is not many questions over here. There is one which is from Bonani from Calcutta. She said, though this Zoom meeting is on greater adjutant stock, but is there any scope of on swamp francolin conservation over here? So I think one problem is that we don't have swamp francolin in West Bengal anymore because of the habitat loss. So that is one issue we have in West Bengal. So it was there at long time back because of the changed department forest management plans to keep the other animals going, the swamp francolin is more or less gone from our state. But yeah, but swamp francolin is pretty much prevalent in Assam because of its habitats are there in this thing. And yeah, I think the rest of them are mostly regarding thanking Purnima about the talk. There is no question. Any more questions coming in from anyone? You would love to?
Susan,
Yes.
if you allow me, I want to share one thing.
Yes, sure. Please go ahead.
When talking about other species, when we started conserving greater adjutant in the area, all the store populations have increased, and probably I don't know. You may further confirm that Bhagalpur is the only area where all resident storks of India are breeding.
Okay, that's good news.
So in the name of greater adjutant, other species and in general, all birds are being conserved by the community. That's a good thing in the name of greater adjutant.
Yes, I have seen videos of Mr. Yogendra Mahaldar of him feeding the birds with fish.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's a local machwara,
yes,
and
but he
he
looks after his
works
birds.
with our team. He's in our anti-poaching camp member also.
Okay. So there's a question from Mr. Amitava Datta. What is the foraging area of greater adjutant stocks? Do they forage far and wide? How far do they go to feed? This is for Purnima.
Okay. Actually, we did not do any radio telemetry study, but from my research, I did an aerial survey, and it goes it's up to like 12 kilometers to 14 kilometers range.
Okay.
And first question was like who is the like foraging grounds, right? First question was
Yes, foraging areas. Which are the areas?
different wetlands. Different wetlands. We have many wetlands, and so yeah, they go to the wetlands. And as you mentioned, and all we were discussing that. So here in Guwahati, we have garbage dam also. So they go there also to have carcasses and all. Yeah. So but mostly they go to the wetlands also, and in the breeding season they exclusively feed on fishes because of the need of calcium and all.
Okay. There's a question from Sarala. Have there been cases of poisoning of greater adjutant stock like the vulture? Or how were they not affected by diclofenac poisoning like vultures?
Okay, that we didn't do like the diclofenac study. We didn't do it yet. But poisoning, yes, it kept happening. Sometimes, like in 2017, we had we had a massive birds death issues in 2017. 27 birds died in Deeperville wetland, and then I sent a few samples to the Lucknow RPVD centers with help of veterinary department and for forest department, and then the results showed that pesticide poisoning. Yeah, so pesticide only the source, but sources were not known. It was a pesticide poisoning only, yeah, chlorine, something like that. Yeah.
In one of your photographs, there was this where the postmortem was there. You showed blades and there was nails and other things, because I've seen the birds feeding in the garbage dump. I'm sure they will be consuming things like batteries, which are all chucked into the foraging areas in the whole garbage dump. So that could always be a big issue.
Yeah, yeah, this might be an issue, but they sometimes they are also seen even in wetland. I saw even in a wetland, I saw them consuming a plastic bag, and I think somebody threw fishes inside the fishes or remaining of fishes or meat in a plastic bag. I think even in a wetland, I think I had a picture of this before. I saw them consuming that plastic. So it is really, yeah, this is really a big concern. These plastics and yeah, so we want to do more post-mortem study for a conservation action plan for this species on this thing. Yeah.
There is another question from Amitava Datta about their breeding habits. Do they mate for life like cranes?
Sorry, can you write down the question? I can't actually for the feeding habit, right?
No, like the do they mate for life like the cranes do? Do they pair up
Okay.
for life?
Oh yeah, that's I have mentioned that for this we need to do a radio telemetry or PTP, this PTT study, and also we have not done it yet. Yeah,
Okay, so that's still not
yeah,
that's unfounded.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Now I think there is one question from Arup Ghosh. He says there are many adjutant stock at the garbage dump in Guwahati. Is it
yeah.
possible to erect bamboo platforms in that area to provide nesting facilities? Would it help since the food is readily available?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I think I could not show you, but last year we did this in garbage dump. We got a permission from the PCCF, and we did it in the garbage dump. We erected 5 platforms there, but I don't know they didn't come there, and these were actually technically more scientific also than the ones we do in the like like in ground breeding area in Dodora area. But I think we have to learn from the mistakes. We are still analyzing what mistakes we have done. Maybe we were a bit late because we invested much time. We started it from the month of on the end of August in the colony, but a bit late in the garbage dump. So that might be one of our mistake. But actually, my idea was to see the distance, how far they go for breeding. So this was a hypothesis, and we did it in the garbage dump. So yeah, we have done in different areas. But this year also we want to do. We want to consult with government. So with regard to the rules and regulation. But last year when we did the garbage dump, only forest department and local people. We have a few local people, a group of local people who did this. We did not share it anywhere because because we didn't want people to go there and see. But still, many people who keeps going there saw them. But it is different. But we didn't share much. So yeah, we did. But this year also we want to do it. We have found the locations also, and we have permission for that also from PCCF.
I think
Thank you
there
so
is a
much
lot
for
of
the question.
lot of disturbance in the garbage dump also because of the trucks and the all the loaders coming in, and there's hundreds of people who are working in the garbage dump directly where the birds feed. So I think
Yeah,
if even if there is a breeding program over there, it has to be at least few kilometers away from the actual dump site, because the huge amount of smoke coming out from the tractors and the trucks that come in all day long. I
Yeah,
think that is
but
also
we want to do the experiment
yes.
to because wetland is there, but we want to do the experiment this year also to just see the distance and all to the to so yeah to see like to do a study and I will come to know more about that then.
Yes,
We'll
of course.
find some places where less disturbance is there. So this year, this might be also another mistake. Yeah, but in one area we did in such a area where there was fencing and all, people could not move also. So we had five. We had erected five ones there, but two platforms were in an area where there were less disturbance also, but not a single one. But they came and they roosted also sometime there, but they didn't breed. Yeah, so this year we'll just do for just yeah for an experiment. We have some bamboos also left from the last year and all. So and this way and yeah we have some people waiting for who did this from the communities. So they are eager to do this because yeah we promised them last year with this.
Thank you. Any more questions coming in from the participants? Anybody wish to before we sign off? I think I'll hand over to Sarala. She can take over from now.
Sujan, there's one from Mr. Som GC. He's from
Okay.
Nepal. And he asks, what are the cultural aspects of the greater adjutant in Assam?
Yeah.
What are the cultural aspects of the
Yeah,
greater adjutant in
yeah,
Assam?
that is a very good question. I want to add and Sarala, who I always note down the people who ask questions. So can you please mention who
He's
wrote down?
Mr. Som GC. Mr.
Home
Som
GC. Okay.
GC.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's a pretty good question. So like I want to add something that in Bihar, like where Mishraji is working, there Hargila is mansion is regarded as Garuda. So yeah, Garuda bird, and but here Hargila doesn't have any cultural aspects. So it is most of the time treated as bad omen or it is treated as messy or disease-carrying birds only. So but the fate is changed now. The situation is changed now. People started giving more attention to Hargila now. I think yeah. So the entire thought is changed now. I think, but still we have to work a lot. Yeah, but we often keep telling them that story also that in Bihar Hargila is described as Garuda to motivate them and larks carrying baby stories in here. But I think for that I need to share my screen again and I have to find it out. But we have a very amazing drawing which we did with the babies. But as a symbolic, we want to motivate the people that see this kind of actually meat is there in other areas. So we have to respect Hargila. We have to love them, something like that.
Thank you. Any more questions and
I think
comments?
there's one about how do you tackle the. This is from Forest. I don't know the name. Thank you very much for the wonderful talk. What are the solutions, alternative you provide to the local community to tackle the excreta smell? This is a very tricky question, but
Mm.
Can you please write down the question?
yes, 1 second. This is
Or maybe I can hear you now.
you can read it in chat.
Uh,
It's by Forest.
he's from Forest Department, right?
Maybe yes.
Okay.
You have to scroll up a little bit.
Yeah. Could you please? I didn't see any questions, but you can please yeah tell the question if I can see.
It is about how do you manage the smell of the excreta for the local people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really it's really a good and tricky question also. Yeah, the Hargila really they have lots of excreta actually, and by motivating the local peoples by building awareness and all, so many people now clean the that clean the excreta also by themselves, and so they do it, and yeah, so this is one of the like, and I want to add something which might be funny also, and I don't know who you would love it or not, but I had a special campaign telling them including my own story, or including a woman story also, like I in most of the campaign I add one description always, that when my daughters, I have twin daughters at my home, when my child does any mess at home, what I do, do I dislike them? I don't dislike them. Why? Because they are my daughters. So when Hargila is so important, they are our children. So we have to, cope up with this, and we have to clean all these things and all. So and again at the same time, I don't know. I think you have asked that question also. I couldn't hear, but yeah, we have given lots of cash. So instead of cash incentive, we gave them this, just livelihood incentive. But we always avoid cash incentive, which we don't have, and we can't continue even if we get for one time from some sources. So women get these looms, yarns, and they do it. Yeah, so adding that on it. But I want to add here that this smelling story, actually, we know the other conflicts of man elephant conflict and all other stories, but this story is a different, because it is a bird watching group. I shared most of my views. Even if I go to a conference and all, I don't share this much. But this is a very people keeps complaining me, and I think wherever I go, people like sometimes I feel like that I also smell like that. Just all the time people keeps telling me about the smell only, but that attitude has changed now. But in those now we have non-breeding season for 4 months. We don't have any problem. And when the birds will come, it is okay. But the mass smell came from the dead birds. Lots of birds fall down and die. So and some birds fall down, die on the nest also, and we cannot remove the dead birds from the nest, and it really smells bad. And because we cannot remove the dead bird from the nest, because it will disturb the other chicks and all also. So but yeah, those days it is very difficult, but after a few days we are but those are for a few months only. But then again they come to the non-breeding season, and this way we keep motivating them. And Hargila conservation is really tail and all. So but we cannot leave it. We have to move this movement forward at any cost. And I really need all of your support, and please try to give some solutions, good solutions. If
We have
any
a
idea
hands
really
up
come to
from
your mind.
Arvind, from Mr. Mishra ji. So please go ahead, Mr. ji.
This is a who?
Mishra ji wants to say something. He's got his hands raised. So if Mishra ji wants to say something, you're welcome. I think he's there. He needs to unmute. हाँ जी
Yes.
बताइए.
Sujan, you are talking about the bamboo platforms near the garbage dump. So instead of bamboo platforms, if you plant the kadam trees in huge number, I think that may help better.
Yes, that is a long-term project. First of all, I don't know whether you visited that place. It used to be
Yeah,
a
I
very
have been there.
so it's surrounded by a lot of water. So obviously, if there is space, because it's right on the side of Deepor Bill. So if Deepor Bill can spare some place for trees, obviously in the next 20-25 year
Uh,
project,
uh,
planting
in
trees
the
will help.
At the margin area of the garbage dump, I had been to that place, and I
Yeah.
think there is a, sufficient place for planting kadam trees in
Yes.
hundreds, and they are fast growing trees.
Yes.
So within 3 4 years,
Okay.
they will be able to give shelter to the breeding birds. And I have seen on very small kadam trees they are comfortably breeding.
Okay.
So instead of raising bamboo platforms, if you plant kadam trees in huge number around the garbage dumps, let few trees die. But if the majority of them survive, it will be good for the breeding birds.
Yes. Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
bamboo platform can only be a temporary solution. So eventually, it has to take a natural turn. So there's another
Yeah,
question
actually,
from
I want to.
Shankho. Yeah. I mean, Purnima wants
Yeah,
to say something
I
on
want
this.
to add here. Yeah, I want to see, as I have mentioned, that bamboo platform is totally a scientific experiment. This is an experiment. We, like plantation is different, but bamboo platform is, as I have mentioned, it is related to research. Also, it is an experiment. Just whether they would select it or not, artificial platform, then we can have another solution. But at the same time, we have an extensive plantation program also, which we keep doing. But in garbage dump area, there are actually there are lots of issues. So so we have not this. But I would add the question to just definitely I would keep in mind. But there, so situation, there are lots of challenges. There are lots of different, yeah. So, but I will definitely keep this in mind. And what is the other question?
There is a question about, first of all, this is a wishful thinking that whether we will eventually get back greater adjutant stork in South Bengal as our mascot. So I don't know whether that will happen, but that all depends on Assam and Bhagalpur's endeavor to protect the bird. Then once they come here, we'll try to take it over. That's number one. And the second question is, if greater adjutant stork chicks fall down from the trees and survive, and if you put it back in the nest, do the parents still look after the chicks?
Yeah. So actually, first question, I think you have already answered, right? First question.
Yes, I think so. I think it all depends on you. How do you work, whether we get the birds or not?
Yeah, definitely we'll expand if the birds goes there and all. And but that story gives us lots of information that about the feeding behavior of the bird. The picture that I have shown shared, and the story that Susan ji was telling about the that municipality and all Kolkata. So and so the second question, but before that question, again I would love to know the name of the person, if you don't mind.
Shankho Mishra, he's one of our co-hosts. He asked the
Okay.
question about the chicks being
Yeah.
rehabilitated with the parents.
Okay. So actually, we don't encourage that because and it is a scheduled basis. So we cannot actually without taking the government permission, we cannot do that actually. We don't do that. So that's why we bring it to zoo and hand raise, and then we release it in the wild. So we avoid it because of this scheduled species rules and regulation of Wildlife Protection Act. So we cannot touch a nest. Yeah. Thank you for the question.
Right, Sarala?
Yeah, any more questions, anyone? If not, then I think thank you so much, Purnima, for this very interesting, different kind of presentation that we've heard from you. I think in the past we've heard maybe the ecology, natural history, conservation of species or birds or research work that people have been doing. Today we were able to learn about, how if you work with the communities, then, even endangered, even when the bird is in the brink of, sorry, Sujan, extinction, uh, they can be brought back with the support from the communities. I think that was uh, a really very, very interesting presentation that we heard. And thank you so much. And from all of us on behalf of the Birdwatching Society, I would like to wish you all the best, because we are very interested in your work. Because if you do well, and if Assam does well, then we will surely get the birds.
Yes.
And yes, and even if Bihar does well, then we will surely get the birds.
Yes,
So
I'm
with that,
banking on Purnima and Mishra ji to do all the good
yes,
work.
banking on the people working in Bhagalpur and people
Yes,
working in Assam. I hope West Bengal also can reap the benefits
yes.
from these two. Thank you so much. And thank you
Thank
to
you so much,
everyone who has,
Purnima.
yeah, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone of you who have taken out time. I think some people are also working, and after work, they've come back and they've attended this webinar. And look forward to some more interesting speakers, interesting talks in the webinar series. Thank you so much, and good night.
Thank you.
Good
Be
night.
safe,
Thank
everyone.
you, Sarla.
Thank you. Stay
Thank you.
safe.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you to everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.